Welcome to Relationship Mysteries. Today we'll be talking about 3 kinds of forms you should consider before saying yes to anyone. 3 kinds of forms you should consider before saying yes to anybody in relationship, before entering into any reasonable relationship, before doing anything serious with anybody in life. These 3 kinds of forms should be considered before you say yes to anyone. Every one of us is in a particular form. Form signifies the shape, the formation something is taking or something has taken. All of us are in a particular form. That man you meet tomorrow, that man that is disturbing your DM, that man that is disturbing your phone is in a particular form. That woman that is disturbing you, that woman that you want to be your wife or you want to be the love of your life, she is in a particular form. So if you are going to say yes to anybody, you need to consider their form. Form is very important. Form determines the shape. Form determines the shape, the type of shape something will take or has taken. That's the truth. And in the world of relationship, in the world of marriage, all of us, we are in a particular form. We are of a particular kind. Let me put it like that. We have a particular species. We have a particular form. We have a particular kind. All of us are not the same. We are different. And there is a difference between John and Andrew. There is a difference between Chantel and Amaka. There is a difference between Doyi and Priska. All of us are in a form. So if you are going to do anything reasonable, if you are going to say yes to that man or that woman tomorrow, you must consider the place of form. And there are 3 kinds of forms that everyone you should consider before saying yes to anyone. The first kind of form you must consider is a must. Is what I call spiritual form. Hey, listen, don't skip this video. Listen, human beings are spirits, whether you like it or not. What you call dead body is a body without a spirit. You know, sometimes when you tell people that they are spirit, I mean, what does it mean? What do you mean? Human beings are spirit. Why you are looking at me, why you are watching this video right now, is because there is something in you that is keeping you alive. And that thing in you that is keeping you alive, that you can't see, but that thing can see you, the real you, that thing is called spirit. Man is a spirit that has a soul that dwells in a body. So anytime you want to step into a relationship or you want to get married to a man, you must consider their spiritual form. What determines, what forms our ideology, what determines the way we are is our spiritual form. That's why you cannot talk about spiritual form without talking about religion. We have different kinds of religions. We have Christian religion, we have Islamic religion, we have Buddhism, we have Hinduism, we have all kinds of religions. And all these religions, they give us different kinds of ideologies, beliefs. Because our spirituality is formed by the knowledge that controls, by the religion that shapes it. And every spirituality has a belief system. Every spirituality has an ideology. Every spirituality has a value system. So before you say yes to that man or woman, please, you need to consider the place of religion. Different kinds of religion have different kinds of ideologies. There are religions that tolerate killing people. There are religions that does not tolerate the killing of people. There are things I see. Sometimes I see those things. I like, especially if you are in Lagos, Nigeria, where I reside. The truth is that sometimes my brothers, the Yorubas, one thing I've discovered about them is that they can, coexist with diverse religions. Sometimes in a family, the father is a Muslim, the mother is a Christian. And what you discover is that the father, I've seen a family and sometimes you're like, what is happening? In the morning, the father is doing, his Islamic rituals while the mother is praying. The mother is praying in tongues, or she's praising Jesus while the father is praising or is worshiping Allah and all those things. And sometimes the people that take the greatest hit in this kind of marriage are the children. And sometimes I've seen people that sometimes, there is a way men now. There's a way men now. The truth is that a man that is in love most time does not put pressure on the woman. If a man is not yet married to you, what you are seeing is not yet the real person of that individual. Because men, one thing with men is that they can be quiet, they can assume a particular kind of form just for you to say yes to them. I have seen a lady, that this guy is he believes in tradition. He's a traditionalist. And then because he likes this particular girl, and this girl is a believer, she is a Christian, and this guy knew that if he wants to get married, if he wants to marry that girl, and him being a traditionalist, there is no way that this girl will accept to get married to him. Because the girl is a strong believer. She is a Christian. When I was doing my NYC, this thing I'm telling you happened when I was doing my NYC in Plateau State. And do you know what this guy did? Because this girl's father happens to be a pastor, happens to be a reverend. They call it Evangelical Church of West Africa. This girl's father happened to be a clergy in that particular denomination. Do you know what this guy did? This guy took another form, another kind of form, another kind of spiritual form that is based on religion. This guy now started going to church. He started going to church not because he's attracted to God, not because he loves God, not because he's interested in the things of God. Do you know why he started going to church? Because he was targeting that girl. And he knew if he comes through the vehicle of tradition, traditional worship, that girl will never accept it. Remember, I am talking about three kinds of forms you should consider before you say yes to anyone. And I'm talking about the spiritual form right now. And then this guy started going to church, they welcomed him, they were so happy, everybody was so elated, they were like, oh, this guy is now a part of our denomination, he's now a part of our church. But they didn't know that this guy came with an ulterior motive. In actual fact, he has not left traditional worship. But when he came there, he told them he has left traditional worship. He does not like the worship of idols again. He wants to give his life to Jesus. He wants to belong to God and everything. And they accepted him. He started fellowshipping. He started worshiping with them. And with time, he started making advances on the girl, on this particular sister. And before you could say Jack Robinson, the girl accepted to marry him. And then after the guy got married to this lady, the guy automatically stopped coming to church. And then, as if that was not enough, he ordered this girl that she should never step her feet into any church. And the girl was shocked. The girl was like, brother, what are you saying? What do you mean? I shouldn't go to church. Were you not this brother? Were you not this person praising God, worshiping, dancing with us in church? All of a sudden, why have you returned to idolatry? And the girl was shocked. She was perplexed. But the truth is that she has entered. And she was dumbfounded. Now, what happened? For that guy to get this girl, he took another kind of spiritual form. He framed another kind of religion just for him to belong. That's why I always tell ladies, I say, listen. If somebody, before you say yes to a man, you need to consider whether you are comfortable with his religion. If you are a lady, before you will say yes to a man, you need to consider whether you are comfortable, whether their religion is suitable to your personality, to your ideology, to your belief system, to your values, to your principles. These things are very important because man is a spirit. And if you are going to thrive on earth, if you are going to have a successful relationship of marriage, that your spiritual form must be considered. You must consider the place of religion. Is he a Christian? Is he a Christian? Is he a Muslim? Is she a Muslim? Is he a Buddhist or is she a Buddhist? Is he a Hindu or is she a Hindu? You need to consider this. Does she or he belong to African traditional worship? Do they participate in that? Because if you are of diverse religion, you are going to have what I call family confusion. Your children will be drastically affected. It's going to affect the development of your children. You can imagine on a Sunday, the firstborn is going to mosque, while the lastborn is going to church, because a girl got married that is a Christian got married to a guy that is a Muslim. And they call it the system of coexistence. The truth of the matter is that while you are coexisting, your children are the mentality, the psychology of your children, their emotional well-being are being drastically affected. So you need to consider the spiritual form, because the truth is that there are religions that permit you to marry 3 wives. There are religions that permit you to marry 5 wives. In Christianity, you are permitted, we only know what is monogamy. You are permitted only to marry 1 man, to marry 1 woman. As a man, you are permitted, only 1. Christianity does not permit you marrying marrying 2 wives. You don't do that in Christianity. It's a principle, it's a law. But in Islam, you are permitted, you can marry 3, you can marry 4 if you want. So if you are going to be successful, you need to consider the place of religion. Don't say it doesn't matter, because every religion will always shape people according to their ideology. Yes, every religion will always shape people's life according to its belief system. And belief is what matters. Belief controls people's behavior. Beliefs control the way you think. Belief control the way, moderate your behavior. So the spiritual form, which is anchored in what people know as religion, must be considered. And again, even in Christianity, there are different kinds of denomination. For instance, the belief system of a choosing is different from that of a winners. The belief system of a deeper life is different from that of a Christ embassy person. The belief system of a Catholic is different from that of a deeper life. The belief system of an Anglican person is different from that of Elevation Church. The belief system of a person in Redeem is different from that of a person in Choosing. The same Christianity, but different denominations with different ideologies. So these things must be considered. You have to ask the person the question of religion. Is he or he a Christian? Is he or he a Muslim? Is he a Hindu? Is she a Hindu? All these things you have to consider that. Even in Christianity, You have to know whether you are comfortable with that person's denominational ideology. You have to know whether you are comfortable with that person's denominational belief system, even though all of us believe in Christ. But the truth is that the principles, our do's and don'ts, sometimes according to our denominations differ. For instance, if you are tent choosing, you are not permitted to wear trousers. But meanwhile, if you are a member of Christ's embassy, you can wear trousers. In deeper life, in deeper life, you are not permitted sometimes to put on a wig or weave. You are just expected to do natural plaiting. But in a church like Dominion City, why not? You are expected to put on your wig and all this thing. Why I'm saying this, because I have seen issues when it comes to spiritual form. Even in Christianity, when somebody from this denomination gets married to this denomination, you see the man will tell the woman, I don't want you to wear trousers, I don't want you to do this. In our denomination, we don't do this, we don't do that. Why is it a problem now? Because it was not considered, it was not discussed. So if you are going to get married to someone, if you are going to say yes to anybody, whether you are a man or a woman, you need to sit down with the person and iron out the issue of spiritual form. You need to know their do's and don'ts. According to their denominational pattern, according to their religious pattern. You need to know whether you are comfortable with their practices, whether you are comfortable with their religious principles, so that it doesn't become an issue in future. Because I've seen people, they will now tell you, oh, I'm looking for a way out of this marriage. Because they didn't consider the place of religion. Because there is a deception I see on earth. Sometimes things that really matter, sometimes people think it doesn't matter. But whether you think it matters or not, life and time will make you know that it matters. I said, whether you think it matters or not, time, life, and time will make you know that those things you thought that are not important are actually important. So that girl, that lady or that man you are with now, maybe you guys are planning your wedding, or you are planning your traditional marriage, or maybe you are planning on saying yes to him because he's disturbing you, bombarding your phone with calls, text messages of I love you, you are the best, this, that. You need to consider the place of religion. So you need to call the person and say, okay, even in Christianity, okay, this is my church, this is what I believe, so that both of you can come to a meeting point. Religion is very powerful. Do you know why some people do suicide bombing? Religion. Don't play with the issue of religion in relationship or marriage. It can scatter a relationship. It can build a relationship. I always tell people, please, try and marry somebody you have similar ideology with. Try and marry somebody you have the same ideological pattern with. It will be easy for you guys to communicate. It will be easy for you guys to come to the same agreement. It's very, very easy. Don't dismiss it. Because ideology determines what you see. Ideology is the platform with which we see life. Every religion gives us a form of ideology. And every ideology is meant to condition us to see and to think in a certain way. So beyond love, beyond sex, beyond physical beauty, please consider spiritual form. Balance it. If you will go ahead in that relationship or marriage, if you want to do anything serious, so that the lives of your children will not be jeopardized in future. There are religions that suppress women. There are religions that don't suppress women. You need to consider that. There are religions that tell you a woman's voice should not be heard. There are religions that tell you a woman's voice should be heard. Consider that. And sometimes as a man, if you will not have much problem when a lady has similar ideological pattern with you. When a woman has similar ideological reasoning with you, communicating and telling her things will not be difficult. Because before you say, because both of you are of the same spiritual form, both of you are of the same spiritual ideology, both of you are of the same spiritual belief system, both of you are of the same spiritual value system, communication will not be difficult. When you are telling her something, because both of you are of the same family tribe, she will understand what you are saying. Both of you are of the same spiritual tribe, it will not be difficult for her to understand what you are saying. Spiritual form is very powerful in deciding the destiny of any relationship or marriage. The second form you should consider before saying yes to any man or woman is the mental form. Is the mental form of an individual. Very, very essential, very necessary. You see, mental form. I read a book years ago. Why? John Maxwell said something in that book. John Maxwell said, every human being is thought personified. He said, every human being is a mobile thought. You, as a human being looking at me now, you are thought packaged in a form. That's why you think in a certain way. There are people that think success. There are people that think failure. There are people that have the mindset of possibility. There are people that have mindset of impossibility. There are people that can do anything to succeed. But there are people that have a laid-back attitude towards life. So everybody, we relate with people based on our mentality, the way we think. Our mental development, self-improvement comes from what we feed our mind with. Don't play with the place of mental form. Form determines the degree to which people reason or to which people relate with others. You see, mental form, whatever you will achieve in life, or what you are yet to achieve, mental form is necessary. Your intellectual capacity. If you are an intelligent person, and you know you are in a kind of an intellectual form, then you don't need an unintelligent person in your life. No, you cannot say that there's no way it will work. Because I see people, it cannot work. People are meant to meet us at the level of our mentality. That's why if you are going to try, if you are going to have success in relationship or marriage, do you know why sometimes husband and wife fight? Do you know why? Do you know why? Because their mental form, their mental form is on different levels. Their mental forms are in different levels. So it's difficult for them to relate. It's difficult for them to communicate. It's difficult for them to agree because they are of different mental forms. So if you want to get it right, please ask yourself this question. This girl that I want to marry, or this girl I want to enter into a relationship with, or this man I want to be part of my life, of what mental form is he? How does he reason? How does he think? Please don't push away the place. Don't push away the place of the mind. Because if you are going to go to bed, when you are sleeping with a man, you are sleeping with his thoughts, the way he thinks. If you are gisting with a man, you are gisting with his mindset. If you are conversing with a man, you are conversing with his mentality, his mental form. Marriage rise and falls on mental form. There are girls, there are women that don't believe they should be accountable to a man, a form of thinking. There are ladies that believe that if they are in your life, they should be loyal to their man. A form of belief, a form of mentality. There are women, they believe in violence. They have what I call mental violence. So they believe if the man is like this, I should be violent. But there are ladies, they have the mindset of peace. All these things hinges on mental form. There are men that are stingy to the core, a way of thinking, mentality. And there are men that are liberal, a kind of mentality. So why will you enter into that relationship, or why will you say yes to that man or woman without considering their mental form, without considering the way they think? Listen, you are not going, sometimes you are not going to, I tell people, I see ladies, they say, oh, I don't care, what's the man, I want a man that has a good car, Venza, all this. The truth of the matter is that after driving that Venza and you enter the house, the person you are going to meet a package thought in a human form. That man in your house now looking at you is taught to personify. And whatever that is happening in your marriage now is based on the way that man thinks. Whatever that is happening currently in your marriage now as a woman is based on the way that woman thinks. There is no destiny outside mentality, even in relationship or marriage. Yeah, there's no destiny outside mentality. When we weigh a person's thought, we know whether you will succeed or you will fail. When we weigh the way you think, in any project people are starting, give it time, just relax. If you want to know whether something, if you want to know whether something will succeed or fail, watch the mentality that initiated that project. And I want to tell you people why mental form is very important, and why you see some relationships will never see the light of day. Some marriages definitely will collapse because of the type of mentality of the two individuals, the partners involved. The guy said, he said that whenever I see a lady with a big boobs or big back, he said, even if it's artificial, I cannot control myself again. He said, in fact, I don't care about the character. Once these two things, people in that Facebook group, they were laughing. Some ladies were saying, what do you mean and all these things? I laugh. He said it as a joke, right? But let me tell you something. That mentality alone has guaranteed what I call marital failure. Because he's not interested in knowing the way the lady that will step into his life thinks. He's more interested in the physical. I'm not saying that the physical is not important, but the first thing, the spiritual, after the spiritual, the mental, the mind, the thinking pattern, very important. Consider it. Don't make your decision in isolation. Consider the way that man is thinking. Consider the way that woman thinks. How do they reason? Very important. How does he or she see the world? What's their perspective about life? Yes, when you sit them down to discuss with them, what is important to them? Because we review who we are through what we say. Whatever somebody is saying is coming from his thinking. You can separate thoughts and words. It is your thoughts that produces you. It is your thought that produces your word. So if you want to know, the quality of an individual, whether that relationship or that marriage will thrive or whether it will die, please weigh the quality of their thoughts, the way they think, their mental form, very important. Life is designed in a way that people of different mentalities can stay together. You believe in greatness, and the woman that is stepping into your life believes in wasting things. How will that marriage survive? How will that marriage survive? You are a man of peace. Majority of your thinking pattern hinges on peaceful coexistence. And that girl is bringing violence into your world with a violent mentality. How will that marriage or relationship succeed? So before you say yes, before you can say or you will or you want to say yes to anybody, please consider their mental form. The third kind of form that you need to consider before saying yes to anyone in life is the physical form. Very important. Physical attributes. Very, very important. I want to say this. One of the reasons why you see cheating going on is that most times people don't actually marry what they want. No, because of lust, infatuation, most people go after what they don't really want. Because physical form is very important. Don't say it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying here is that before you consider someone's physical appearance, qualities, attributes, the way a woman is, the way a man is, their physical endowment, please consider the spiritual form. After considering their spiritual form, consider their mental form or their intellectual form. After considering their intellectual form, the next thing you should consider is their physical form. What kind of man, what kind of woman gets you attracted? Very important. You know, what kind of person, if you see her, you are comfortable, you are okay, you are satisfied. Only seeing her, only seeing him, your person is satisfied. That is what we call physical form. Don't go into marriage or relationship with someone you are not proud of. You know, there are people, they go into a relationship or marriage with somebody they are not proud of. If you are telling them, oh, where is your fiancé, or where is your boyfriend, or where is your girlfriend, or where is your wife, or where is your husband, they are hiding the people because they are not proud of them because of their physical qualities. So if you are going to consider getting into marriage or relationship with anyone to avoid infidelity, to avoid the issues of cheating, please consider physical form.